And welcome to the Talon Outdoor Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm Bominicious.
Bominicious.
That's JD.
Yeah,
You call him by his initials.
Bominicious.
I knew that was coming. Yeah, it is Fred.
Captain Paul Tire.
And I'm Grant.
Bominicious.
Cedric the Entertainer. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, look him up. He's pretty funny.
He was calling somebody Bominicious the whole time.
This guy said, "Call me Bominicious."
Yeah, he thought it was Bominicious. He's like, Bominicious, come on over here, go to the ball game, get some beer, Bominicious.
Man, that's CJ.
What'd you call him? Bominicious. He said his name. No, he said by my initials.
Well, in the South, things tend to run together.
Yeah, like I'm a fixin', and
That's right.
you know.
Over yonder.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
The way that happened. So lots happened since we.
been a week. It's been a week.
It has been a week.
It has. So let's go ahead and let's talk about, before we get to the weather, which is the fun stuff to talk about. Let's go ahead and talk about the inauguration.
Yeah.
Throwing pins to the crowd. Wasn't that awesome?
Was he throwing pins to the crowd? I didn't see that.
Like they do in concerts, they throw T-shirts. He was throwing pins.
After the inauguration, when he went and started signing the executive orders to undo a lot of the executive orders, he'd sign it, and he got done. He had a handful of Sharpies, and he's pitching them to the crowd.
Yeah.
He's signing them in front of hundreds of people
got an
in the
envelope in
Capitol
there
Rotunda.
with some of those cheap pins they send you that you can get them on sale for 69 cents. It's got Talon range on it. I'm going to order us a bunch. And everywhere me and you go, we go sign something, we just hand a here. You can have that. You can have that.
Nobody will care.
And they'll be like,
and nobody
no, man,
will care.
I got a pen. I don't need it. No, you don't understand. This is a momentous occasion. I signed a check. I wrote a check. I signed the contract.
I had some pens for a while. I'd sign my bar tab and leave it there. That way.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that's
So the next
hey, man, I
intoxicated
got
individual
DUI.
might need you.
Yeah. Next guy would come in there. Oh, if I get a DUI, I'll call this guy.
Yeah, there you go. That's actually pretty smart. It's better than slinging cards in an ambulance when it leads to sing.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're not an ambulance chaser. You do
I mean,
DUIs and
no,
stuff.
we all have to take an ambulance chasing class.
Yeah.
I mean,
Part of lawyering.
yeah, it's part of lawyering. We actually have where I went to school. We had it's like a law day thing, all these festivities. And all that.
Right.
We had an ambulance come to school, and we go chase him, and you win a prize for whoever won the ambulance chasing race.
Did you go to law school at Costco? Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Now, I went to Cumberland and
Have you ever-
in Birmingham, and it was hard chasing that ambulance. It's in the mountains.
In the mountain uphill.
I mean, and I ain't used to that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Well, nowadays you'd have to do it. They got to freeze some ground and see if you can run uphill in the snow and
Shoot. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, go ahead.
No, it didn't take long after Trump took office. There are a lot of Democrats saying, you know, that it'll be hell to freeze over before that'll happen. Well,
There you go.
I'm pretty sure we got pretty close here lately because so I had to go talk about. Well, let's talk about we get all our stuff
Yeah, I was going to
mixed
say,
up.
you get off.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off. I'm more excited about the weather than I am about the inauguration at this point in time. But I will tell you what, the stuff that's already starting to occur, they're starting to go around and detain people that had not formerly been detained and pack them up to send.
Did you see the
hopefully they're
Haitian?
starting with
Yes,
the worst.
I ain't going back to Haiti. Oh, yes, you are.
Then he
Yes.
said F Trump and then Biden forever.
Biden forever.
And I'm going, you just confirmed that I voted correctly.
In a couple of statements, yeah.
I mean, the dude had 18 criminal convictions.
Since he's been here.
Yeah, since he's been here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's
he
like
was
back in the day.
still.
You ain't putting me in jail.
Yeah, you ain't fixing to put me in jail.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna happen because I'm gonna keep calling people till I have enough people to make sure you go. You know, otherwise I'm gonna have to just hurt you right now.
Have you read any of the executive orders?
I haven't read any, but I've been reading the summary of them. Which
Yeah, and I've read a few. And I don't know who he's got this go round working for him.
Writing them.
Yeah, but he found him a smart lawyer.
Yeah.
I mean, because the dude, like, take the DEI order.
Yeah.
That thing is so rock solid. I mean, it has got every conceivable situation imaginable.
Yeah.
We're doing away with DEI. It's gone. It's dead.
And doing away with different genders.
And the ATF, they thought
they was going to pull a fast one
Yeah.
and reclassify their DEI person into a senior executive.
Yeah.
How'd that work out for him, Fred?
didn't work out too well. It didn't work because the lawyer wrote that thing to cover exactly what happened there. And that DEI
I am
officer,
so shocked that
she's
the
gone.
ATF don't want to play by the rules.
I was just surprised. I mean, because as cooperative as they always are.
Yeah. It really shocked me. They're just such a, and y'all, I love our ATF law enforcement agents around here. They're friends of mine. They're friends of ours. We think the world of them. Some of them listen to this show. We get along with them grandly. Their law enforcement people are top notch. It's the other side of the agency.
It's the people that were in that picture.
Yeah, it's the other side of that agency, the compliance side of it that torture federal firearms. They closed down last year. The Biden administration shut down 479 FFLs, gun dealers across the country.
Uh-huh.
That is more than they have shut down since the ATF existed.
Was that counting the ones that turned theirs in when they got?
Yeah. That's voluntary relinquishments and forced closures.
What'll happen is a lot of times they'll go in, they'll do an audit, which they do audits regularly, and they as they should. They should do an audit. They should be a little forgiving about clerical errors and just human error.
And that's what the
things
majority
like that.
of those were.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is if you run a business like ours, you would be stupid to be trying to hide something or do something illegal because you're not just for the sake of making $100 on some gun or $50 on some gun. You're going to risk your livelihood, your business, your mortgage, your everything, all your income, and your freedom. No, we don't do stuff like that. That's silly. It's stupid. Now, can some kid working the front counter forget to sign something or let somebody miss a box on a form that means nothing because they just had a background check? They didn't answer number so-and-so. Well, we just did a background check on them, and obviously we know that, they haven't been convicted of that. It's little simple things like that you get dinged for. And under the Biden administration, correct me if I'm wrong, JD, there was a zero tolerance.
They look for that reason to shut people down.
Well, they let you fix it. Hey, you can, we'll let you fix these as we find them, and then they turn around and write you up and tell you, okay, well, you're going to have to face, you got to go to a hearing, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you're sitting there going, how do you resolve that? Because here's the thing: how does it? And it's little guys like us. Now, what'll happen is a lot of people that have been running FFL out of their garage at their house, they get off, then they'll just turn their stuff in and go, I'm not fighting it. We'll get the Gun Owners of America attorneys behind us if that's what we have to. We will fight because we have a lot of stuff at stake here, and we know that we never intentionally do it, but you're going to make mistakes. And I don't know how places like Academy Sports and Bass Pro, they got all these different people working the counters, and they have to make mistakes, but they also have really expensive attorneys.
Deep pockets to fight it with. So.
And there's ways around all that stuff. I mean, but the thing is when we decide, when JD and I had to start looking at attorneys, I mean, I've had to use Fred for stuff before, and then we've had to reach out to GOA and other people and discuss these things and go, okay, well, where's our, how do we, and the thing is
and there's zero due process. You got one entity, one government bureaucrat in the state of Florida that gets to decide whether or not you lose your license, keep your license. Yeah, one guy with no checks and balances.
And they make the rules.
He's not. Yeah, and they're making the rules, which is why the Chevron deference case was such a big deal for us. Where so you got the industry, the bureaucrat deciding what happens for the industry, and with zero checks and balances. This guy ain't a judge. He's not an elected official. He's none of that. He's just a guy sitting in a bureaucrat's office.
But this exists in every industry now with the federal government, whether you're fishing, whether you're farming, whether you're building stuff.
Drilling for oil or
this bureaucracy's gotten out of hand, and Trump is trying to do away with a lot of that. And that's doing it. That's the basic tenet of being a Republican, small government, and that's where we're trying to go, and I'm looking forward to it. We'll be right back. And we're back. So moving on from, I'm sure we'll come back to Trump at some point in time. However, we had a weather event, and it has been exciting to me. I don't think anybody in this room has ever seen this weather here.
Oh, no.
I have.
Not this thick, JD.
No.
Not 6 inches of snow you hadn't.
Yes, sir.
1989.
My birthday party in 1977 in Chattahoochee, we had 4 inches of snow. And it was a few days, I think, right before my birthday. My birthday was on February 10th, and I think it was a few days and it fell.
February?
Yeah. And but the Saturday before my birthday, or the Saturday we were having my birthday party when I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
In 1977 in Chattahoochee. Now, I don't know about Tallahassee, but in Chattahoochee we got like 4 inches of snow.
It happened in Mariana too. I got a picture of me, and I built a snowman in the yard.
Yep.
It was a little stickier than this stuff we just got.
Yeah,
but
it was not like this, but it was very close to like this.
It's the last time I saw any accumulation of snow. Was that same year?
Yep.
That same day, as a matter of fact, because I was
you were just
20
to the
minutes
west.
to the side of you.
December 22nd, 1989.
That was more ice. I was working that night. It was a sleet and ice, not really snow. It was
where I was. I mean,
well, you may have gotten some flakes, but that was nasty that night because it was very nasty that night.
Well, they always predict we're going to have some snow flurries, or we possibly have snow. And the closer you get to the coast, the less likely it becomes. I don't know if you ever followed Justin Nunley, who is
Danger
content maker over.
We got to get him on the show, man. He lives right down the road.
I know. I sent him a message inviting him, and he, I didn't get a response back, but I know one thing. I ain't going to his house because he takes that crap personally. And so
he was out doing redneck things. I know you were out doing redneck things. I was out doing redneck things.
He was posting. That's what he was posting. They're predicting there's snow, and it ain't gonna. It's not. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. They say it all the time. I might do it up around Crestview somewhere, but they ain't gonna do it down here. Which he was right, because he lives closer to the coast apparently, and up in Crestview, which is like where Mariana is relationship to the coast. Crestview is about the same latitude.
Yeah.
And so. As you get south, you change latitude, change attitude.
Yes,
nothing
remains quite the same.
Yeah. And
Charlie Strickland with a Jimmy Buffett lyric. Look at that.
Yeah, you never know what's coming out of this brain.
Changes in attitudes right there.
So, but to what? And then he said, "All right, I got this. I'm going to do some redneck stuff."
Things.
Yeah. And I got to thinking about it, and I said, I'm going to do that same thing. But you know what? I don't want to. If I say I'm going to do redneck, am I going to offend the people that aren't white? And I go, you know what? You don't have to be white or a country boy or even from or nothing to do redneck stuff. Okay, no. Just because you're doing the stuff you're doing redneck stuff regardless of your race. So you can be anything you are, and you can still do redneck stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, like going to NASCAR races. That's got a following that ain't just white folks no more. It's everybody else. Well, but when you go to a NASCAR race, you're doing redneck stuff, and don't forget it.
Riding your boogie board or your skim board down the street on the snow is I'm sorry, that's redneck stuff, because the skim board ain't made for ice, but you're making do with what you got, and you're scooting down the road.
We went in the attic and got the two. Somebody's writing their name in the snow. Is that you?
No, this is a dude on skis outside my house. And he comes by skiing. I'm like, what on earth?
Are they snow skis or water skis?
They're snow skis.
My personal favorite was using storage bins, the lids of the storage bins as sleds.
Coolers.
Oh man, I went out the first thing of the morning. I went out and I said, all right, I got to get the kids busy with this stuff, and and so I went out to the shed and went up to the barn, and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to use to drag my youngins around
toe
with.
Strap works good.
And so exactly. So I found two toe straps. So I had gone to Harbor Freight and bought these big yellow toe straps when we had the pool delivered. Mm-hmm. Now it was an in-ground fiberglass insert. I had to get these big long 20-foot toe straps, and I threw them in the barn and haven't been used since. I didn't know what I was ever going to use them all for, because you can't snatch stuff out of holes with that. It's too light duty. And so I took two of those, put them on the trailer hitch on the back of the side-by-side, and then I went looking around, and I'm like, okay, well, I got garbage can lids, and I got the old dog kennel that's got plastic. I said, that's a half a. that thing's top heavy. And I got thinking about it. We got pool floats in the attic. So I went up there and found 2 inner tubes. They're kind of leaky. They stay aired up for about a half a day. And I said, well, I'm going to drag them all over these hay fields anyway. So there's all kinds of stubble underneath the snow. And yeah, it just stay right up on top of the snow. And the kids it was like water skiing. They were back and forth and kicking off each other and doing all that stuff. And it was tubing on dry land. And never in my life would I have ever thought that in Dry Creek, south of Marianna on Highway 73, out in the middle of hay fields on my farm, that I would be able to
drag your youngins behind the side by side.
My kids on, and the night it started snowing, I took Jesse, my 16-year-old, and we went out. CJ I'm not leaving the house. It's cold. And I put her on the side by side with the dogs, and we went out and drove around the property in the snow, big old flakes coming down, and and I'm like, baby, this is one of those memories. This is a memory that you will never lose right here. Mainly because it's posted on Facebook in perpetuity.
That's a core memory. Yeah,
that is, and of course you got daddyism. So we're driving down the road, and I'm looking around, and nothing looks familiar. And I said, well, baby, if I didn't know where I was, I wouldn't know where I was. I said, remember these words of wisdom from your daddy.
No, I lost my drone.
You did?
Yeah, I mean, I recovered it, but I mean, I'm like, I don't recognize.
You pushed the return home button.
You didn't know where it was at.
Yeah, I'm like, where is that thing? I mean,
man, we the girls were wanting to get out the side by side and go ride in the neighborhood, and I got to thinking about that, and I'm like, there ain't no heater in that thing. I said, let's fire Pearl up. That's my 2009 F-150, big tires lifted, all that good stuff, my hunting truck. And I said, Pearl's got a heater. Let's take Pearl. And they're like, okay. So we went early in the morning, because my wife had to get up and go to work. And so she kind of woke everybody in the house up, getting ready to go, come look at the snow, this, that, and the other. So I was up and had my coffee. And we fired Pearl up and went for a ride. And we were like the only people out riding around. And we found some parking lots. And what do you do with a big open vacant parking lot that's full of ice and snow?
Donuts.
Yeah. So watch
out for those light poles.
Yeah. So and my 16-year-old or 17-year-old, she's the rule follower like me, and she goes, Daddy, if the police see us doing this, are we gonna get in trouble? I said, baby, they ain't gonna catch me. I can go places they can't.
You might not want to drive this to school next week.
You don't want to be seen in this vehicle. There will be a bolo, but they're not going to catch me because I can go places they can't.
Oh, they're probably out there doing the same thing.
Did you see the guy, the cop in Houston?
Yeah.
In the parking lot, he's out there cutting big donuts and sliding around. Somebody's videotaping him from a fifth-story window. And
yeah, he's getting in trouble for that. But
I'm like, good for him.
They'll ride him up, but he'll be all right.
They launched a formal investigation.
Of course
we're
they
concerned about the video we found, but blah, blah, blah. It was like, they'll forget about it in a week.
He'll have to go through some remedial driving training.
Yes, sir.
He'll get a day or two off without pay, and it'll be worth every minute of
it. He'll live in the history of the agency. He'll be a legend in his own time right there. You remember when old Bob was out there cutting donuts and they videoed?
Now, had he run into something with it, it'd be a different story.
Apparently,
that's a fireable thing there.
There were some FSU students that learned what pepper snow does.
When the police tell you quit throwing them ice bombs and hitting people with it, and you don't do it.
The police will shoot back those spicy snowballs.
Yeah.
Spicy snow.
So the ghost pepper snow, I guess.
Cayenne.
That stuff, and then you go out there and have a snowball fight later on. You wonder why you're crying.
Why
are my eyes burning so bad?
Yeah, they got a little overzealous with that stuff down there. I'm talking about the students with the snowball fight. Go out on the intramural field, guys. Come on. You don't throw around breaking glass.
And here's the thing. You start
breaking glass and breaking things.
And you throwing snowballs at people's cars and jumping on their hoods and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a little out of hand.
A
lot out of hand.
That's stupidity.
It's gone too far.
I get it. But you got to figure that a bunch of those kids probably live somewhere that it does snow because they're in here from out of town. And
a lot of them are from South Florida.
Yeah, you got South Florida people. They never behave anyway.
Mm-hmm. They keep you in business, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Every time I see that 561 area code coming up, I'm like,
well, the interstate's being closed. was, I mean, we had to shut everything down out here because people couldn't get to us. We just didn't want our employees driving.
Employees couldn't get to us too. There was that.
But the interstate being closed, and then I don't know how they must have left some cracks in the wall on the interstate or something, because there was people locked up on that sucker the other day, Thursday it was, and semi-tractor trailers couldn't get up icy hills on the interstate, and they're having and people with two-wheel drives are stuck and can't.
I watched Thursday morning. I watched a Tesla, little front-wheel drive Tesla, struggle with Bannerman Road, and right there close to Tequesta. There's a little hill there, and it was still really icy. It was icy enough. I put my truck in four-wheel drive to get from point A to point B, and then took it out.
I had to get to work that way because it shut ox bottom down.
Yeah, and there was a Tesla doing about 2 miles an hour, and I'm like, yeah, I think we're gonna have to get out and push that dude.
There was 3 or 4 of them run off the road on ox bottom. Yeah, they just slid right off.
Oh yeah. That was, and I got employees with a security company calling to, hey, we can go take the. No, in my cars you ain't. You ain't patrolling. Nobody's patrolling today. There ain't nothing going on. We need to go be sticking our nose in right now because the homeless. All the businesses are closed. Just let it go. I'll look at the cameras.
We were riding around in Clarn Lakes in the neighborhood up there right after the snow that morning, and it amazed me. The Yankees that deer hunt in the snow are very much an unfair advantage that we have down here in the South, because those deer in the woods. You could see
everything.
Yeah, you could see deer 75 yards out in the woods where normally it would blend in with everything and you couldn't see them. They were glowing. I mean, I'm like, is this what it's like to hunt in Michigan in the snow? Because that's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It was like, holy crap, there's 8 deer right there, and you can see them way deep in the woods. Down here, if they're 10 yards in the woods, you can't see them.
Not only that, you see the track.
Yeah, you can tell exactly where they come from. I had them all in my yard. All right.
Well, I reckon we'll be back in just a minute. And we're back. So
I saw pictures from the Dothan range.
Yeah, that's what I was supposed to say. Is that it was pretty up there. It was pretty bad on the roads in Dothan. It was even worse up there than it was south of there. The day it snowed was bad. I mean, I'm sitting there watching the video from the Dothan range, looking at how the snow was filling up, and talking to Frank and Jerry and them. To hey, we're closed. That's fine. Okay, I get it, because you can't get there. And Houston County and all, they were talking about, don't. And 231 was a big old mess. It was like I-10, but just the difference between 231 and I-10 is you can get off 231 and go in somebody's house or a business, and I-10 you got a fence. So at least on 231, if you didn't like where you was at, you could pull over and go somewhere. On I-10, you pretty much stuck. You got to go. You got to get back to that exit or to the next exit, one way or the other. But yeah, Dothan was that whole area up there. I imagine they probably got more than
I don't know what the official stuff was, but I talked to several relatives and friends, and they got, like, they're saying, oh yeah, we got like 8 inches, 9 inches of snow. That's a lot.
We had I think around 6 to 8 inches over in Jackson County, but it depends. I mean, here's the thing: you can't go next to your house and measure the snow because the wind blows it, and you got 1.5 feet in one spot, and you got 3 or 4 inches over there. So you kind of got to take the average. But if I went out into the field where there was it was just all level, which is a more accurate indicator. We had a good 6 inches or so, easy, if not more. And then, but the thing is, we still got where the sun don't shine.
There's still snow on the ground right now.
There's plenty of it. I mean, you go down the interstate. I came in on the interstate a little while ago, and all the sides of the road, they're still. They apparently had to scrape a bunch of snow off the interstate in a couple places in Gaston County, and it's still 1 foot deep on the side of the road. See, and there's ice in the emergency lane, so you don't want to pull off the side of the road. You go, well, I had a flat tire pulled over, and now I'm stuck in a ditch.
Yeah. Was Jackson County School still closed Friday?
All week, and they were playing Leon County day by day.
Leon's still closed. The kids are at home today.
And I don't know what's going on up north of us in Alabama and all, but it's probably the same thing. Now, here's the thing: is it snowed? Okay, we got up the next morning and there was snow. All right, you can drive in snow.
Yeah.
What you don't want to drive in is once that snow starts to melt, and then it goes back down to 17 degrees. And all of a sudden, the next morning you wake up and you're thinking, oh, well, I can drive. No, you can't. Because I've driven on slick clay and dirt roads, and
which is similar.
I've never driven on brown ice before. But everybody talk about black ice, and I'm like, well, the road behind my house is brown ice. But there's something about pulling out of the back of the house and going across the field and getting on the dirt road, and you're the first one on the road after snow. Never had that happen before. And I pulled out there, and I am so glad nobody else has driven down this road.
Oh, yeah.
And we're riding that. We're pulling the kids on inner tubes down the middle of the dirt road.
Ain't got no tracks
with
on
the dogs, and the dogs are out in front of us, and they're the first footprints in the snow. The deer hadn't even got out and walked. And just, man, I got on video on my Facebook page. You may go find me on Facebook, and you can watch the videos and stuff. I got an album of nothing but Fun in the Snow 2025.
Yeah, my dog needs therapy.
Therapy.
He got outside in that snow. He didn't know what to make of it. He looked at me like, "What is this?"
I thought I was going to have to tie a rope around Dixie and drag her in the yard to go to the bathroom, because she was not about the snow, buddy. She did not like that foot hit the ice, and she's like, Daddy. I'm like, well, you ain't going in the house because you 122 pounds, and I ain't cleaning that up.
Yeah, she left a landmine right there at the front at the steps. And out there with a shovel trying to get it.
That bird dog over there, she got outside, and there was a little finch or something, and them little Tweety birds flying around the house and kept just lighting all around the house, and she was chasing. I think the bird thought that they were playing. Lily had a different thing. Her mind was, I'm gonna eat you. And so the bird, but they went round and around the house about 20 times. I mean, just round and round, and the bird would go back, and she was just having a blast. And Rusty, he really enjoyed the snow, and he's got no fur. He's a pit bull mix with very little hair, and he does not like cold. But boy, I tell you what, he had him a blast, but he's been real clingy last couple of days,
trying to stay warm.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. All right, we'll be back in just a minute.
You know how to catch a polar bear?
Yeah.
You take a green pea, go up there to the frozen lake, put a hole in it, put that green pea right there. And when that polar bear comes up, take a pea, you kick him in the ice hole.
Okay.
That's a good one.
On that note, segment 3.
That was recorded on YouTube.
Yep.
That's going to be a good one.
Segment 3.
And we're back. Oh, I brought y'all something.
Snow?
This is, here you go.
It's cold.
Pull on it. There you go.
Okay.
Hey, take that right there. Anyway, now that's we talked about. I miscounted when I left the house, and I only grabbed 3. I should have grabbed 4.
Is that summer sausage?
I've had
you've
summer sausage.
You've had my sausage before. You enjoyed it too.
Your summer sausage is excellent.
That is lunch.
Yeah. So anyway, that was some of last year's batch of summer sausage.
You see what he did there, Grant? That wasn't very nice. You know.
All right.
Got to be ugly about things.
I didn't know you made.
I just wanted Fred to pull on that when he was getting it from me.
I was wondering
so anyway, that is let it thaw out. But that summer sausage, I got a lot of time in that.
Made in the winter because it's cold.
Got a lot of time in it. Matter of fact, when I was making that the first time, I went down and talked to my daddy while he was still around, and I said, what do you think? He goes, you need to put more time in it. And I'm like, Daddy, I cooked it for hours. He goes, no, son. Time, the spice, time.
TH.
It needs some time. And I went, oh, okay.
Is it spicy?
Does it have an S written on the package? No, that's the regular stuff. Okay. That's not too spicy. I do make some spicy. Anyway, I normally I'll take one of the sticks of summer sausage and I'll cut it into 3 parts, and that's the stuff I give away. But y'all got the big sausages.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I bet you are.
I think we need to get the knife out and cut a piece off and try it.
I'm gonna be eating that as soon as it thaws out. How long do you think it takes to thaw out?
I don't know. Give it some time.
Okay.
Give us the
Jeez.
Just check it every once in a while. Eventually it'll get soft, and then you can eat it then. But but it's better with a cheese and a cracker, But the thing about summer sausage is don't forget it's got a rind on it, so don't eat that. So you got to peel that off first. Just pull that back and eat stuff.
Deer meat.
That is venison mixed with pork fat, and basically what I do is I take pork shoulder because it's cheap and it's got good flavor,
right?
And I will mix that with venison, which is lean, and then I will put all your sausage spices and stuff in there, and then we add a couple things to it. Doesn't come in the package that you buy of summer sausage
so you
mix.
grind your own meat,
and it's got nitrite, just the pink salt in it that preserves it. And then we smoke it, but basically you can just throw it in the oven and cook it. But we smoke it to give it a little bit, and it also has a little bit of liquid smoke in there too, give it a little bit of a flavor. Right. It is what it is. I mean,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that.
Eat that stuff up.
So, and I'll I'm gonna give you some later, JD. I'll bring some more for you.
All good.
It was, I meant to bring that for y'all a while back, and I kept forgetting, and then I thawed it out in my refrigerator and ended up eating all that. So,
Did your quail started laying eggs yet?
Nope, not laying eggs yet.
Did they
matter
survive?
of fact, I'm selling my first batch of quail today. I've been holding off for late season birds because honestly, I'm too lazy to catch them. But
me and Fred will catch them for you with a shotgun. We done a bunch of that this past weekend.
Don't make me no money.
Me and Fred went quail hunting up in
now, have y'all had pickled quail eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never tried. Is it good?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Kind of like pickled eggs. I mean, like pickled chicken eggs. I had some cousins that we used to have at family reunion every year. They raised quail, and they would bring like a 5-gallon bucket full of boiled quail eggs to the family reunion every year. Oh yeah, I mean it was like a bunch of. Well, it was a big family reunion, and they would bring them every year. And when I was a kid, I used to look forward to the family reunion, just knowing my cousins were going to bring quail. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know. They weren't. They were already peeled. I don't know how they peeled them. They were already peeled, but they'd have a pile of them.
I saw a thing where you like boiling a regular chicken egg. You boil it for 8 minutes and 8 minutes and 40 seconds. I'm sure that 5 seconds will matter. And then you put it in an ice bath for 3 minutes, and then the shell will just come right off, just fall right off. You just crack it and it comes off.
You put them in a Ziploc bag and shake them, and it'll peel itself.
But he was having to crack the shell and peel it, but the center contracted after it was cooked, and then it separated from the shell. And I was thinking, I want to try boiled quail eggs, but I'm too lazy to fight them like that.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'll have tons of these eggs if I don't sell all the quail.
I just remember when I was a little fella, and they'd bring them every year, and I'd always ask my mama, is so-and-so going to be there? And they were distant cousins, and some of Uncle Willie's kids. And great Uncle Willie.
Yeah.
Great Uncle Willie was born in Great Uncle Willie was born in like the 1890.
Oh, okay.
It was some of his kids that raised quail. I don't know. I just So there's things we were one of those core memories.
Mm-hmm. How many quail did you shoot? You think?
A lot. A lot. The second day especially a lot.
Yeah. Your Jeep came in with 87.
Yeah, we
won the award that day.
I got a little tuned up Sunday. I was I let the young ones shoot Saturday. My son had never quail hunted, and I grew up quail hunting every 2 or 3 days a week on wild quail, and so
I don't know about you. When I got home on Sunday, I was beat.
Yeah, I was tired too. My legs were tired. We walked a lot.
According to my roommate's son, who has one of those things that tell you. Said we walked 8 miles.
Yeah, mine said my watch said like 6 miles for the second day. So it was a lot of walking, but it was just awesome. It was fun. That place up there is they'd absolutely do it right. Southwind does. And the food was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was.
Well, if it doesn't, all the snow doesn't thaw out today. I mean, we're recording on Friday. When the show airs Saturday, I'm at that annual hunt that I go to every year.
Oh yeah,
and I might actually be hunting quail in the snow in Florida, which would be another first. I'm good mine this afternoon, Friday afternoon, to go home and turn some birds out in what's left of the snow on my place because there's still some out there. and just let that girl dog right there go hunt in the snow and let her point
what you really want to do is go get some practice so you don't look bad in front of your friends.
Yeah, she pretty much.
So you don't look bad in front of your friends.
Oh, you talking about shooting?
Yeah.
No, I run the dog. I don't really shoot a whole lot.
It's going to be below freezing tonight for 10 hours.
Well,
yeah, they're going to get like 20.
There'll still be some on the ground.
Yeah, there was definitely
24.
some all the way from the lake all the way here today.
I got to cross one of the river bridges to get to that thing tomorrow. I hope it doesn't. Well, I think everything's dry enough now that the roads are dry. It's kind of like a NASCAR race. You know, when it get a little rain, they'll run out there and they'll put the blowers on there and blow it off, and they'll let the cars drive around and around and around a bunch and dry off the track. And all the traffic on the roads now pretty much got the bridges dry. It can be cold on the bridge. It just can't be wet and cold because then it turns to ice. And I'm not going across a bridge with ice on it.
Yeah, that concrete a lot faster than.
That was just Thursday. I said, well, I'll run over to Tallahassee. Well, I-10 was closed. Highway 90 bridge was closed. And I said, well, I'll go down to Highway 20, and I'll go over on Highway 20. And somebody said, yeah, it's open, but you can't get up the hill. Or no, was it going into – no, that was the Chattahoochee, the 90 bridge. You had to go up the hill. One of them was – there's two of them was closed, and one of them was ice all the way up the hill, and you had to go up a hill. And
yeah,
I'm
when
like,
you go,
no, I
when
ain't
you're
going.
coming towards Tallahassee from Sneed's, there is a large hill on the Chattahoochee side.
Right.
When you get off the bridge there.
Mm-hmm.
That would be if it was slick.
You'd be
Yeah,
sliding back down the bridge.
there's not a hill in between Bluntstown and Bristol. That's all flat land down there. But anyway, they were saying there were some issues with the bridge. I said, you know what? I said, there ain't nothing I need to go to that's worth me wrecking. Nope, not going to do it. And my wife's new truck is in the shop getting some brand new warranty repair done after 1,000 miles. But we got a rental car, and so she's driving a rental car. She's like, well, the roads are dangerous. I'm like, well,
rental car, actual car.
It's a all-wheel drive Buick of some sort with it but it doesn't have a remote start, so you got to go out there and warm it up. And
did you see all these people
first
whose
world problems.
Pool cages?
The screened-in pools.
Who'd have thought you'd have had to worry about the snow load capabilities of a dadgum pool cover?
Did you see Mobile, Alabama's Civic Center roof?
Oh,
yeah, they got that on video.
Mm-hmm. That big dome. I'm assuming they had one of those big fabric domes, but it was a big
anymore.
dome.
It was one that you can pull back, retract. Well, apparently they didn't retract it, and they let it snow on it, and
it all the outwards became the inwards.
There's a few awnings downtown that came down.
It self-retracted.
Yeah, it just imploded. Yeah.
Well, when we come back in just a minute, we're going to talk to Paul about any fishing experiences you might have had in the cold. I'll be right back. And we're back. So I just looked up on the break that he was talking about some CWD cases up in Georgia, and I looked up where Barron County and what was the other county?
Lanier.
County.
It's northeast of Valdosta.
So that's north and northeast, and it's over between Tifton and Valdosta area.
Yeah. One case that they found, they've had one deer test positive supposedly for CWD, and they're taking precautions. You basically can't leave those counties with deer with whole carcasses. Some of the precautions that we were having to take down here as far as leaving certain counties or whatever else, and I'm assuming they're going to put in place some testing and stuff, which I hunt not too far as the crow flies. My deer lease is in Mitchell County, so that's as the crow flies. It ain't that far.
Well, you couldn't bring
back to the west of there. Yeah.
Deer carcasses back to Florida anyway.
Right. I have a processor, Buck Creek deer processing. It's about 5 miles down the road on the way home from my deer lease. So I use them. They do a great job, and I'm very happy with them, and it's convenient. But yeah, I couldn't bring them back to Florida without deboning them. I'm just, we had the case over in here in Florida. Was it 2 years ago? I guess 2 summers ago, 2.5 years ago now. Over in I think it was Washington or Holmes County.
It was around near Bonifay.
Yeah. And they have literally tested since then people voluntarily surrendering the deer parts to test. They have not found a single other case. So,
and they haven't found any in South Alabama that I've heard of either.
So
and they've been doing voluntary submissions over there.
Right. So you've literally had probably thousands and thousands of deer submitted for testing, and not one other case found. So at that point, I'm very skeptical that the first positive test was accurate. I mean, you can't. The way that disease works is it's passed through, saliva, bodily fluids from one deer to another, eaten in the same place, and I'm highly skeptical that the first.
So how did it skip? My thing is, how did it skip over 30 counties from North Alabama where they had some, or from 2 other states away, and then all of a sudden just drop right in Holmes County, Florida?
Yeah.
One deer got tested out on the roadway, and then nothing else around it test positive. And then all of a sudden, boom, way over in Georgia.
Like I said, I mean, they want the biologists and the game commissions want to blame people transporting live deer from other parts of the country for high fence and this, that, and the other. And talking to some of the folks that run high fence stuff, they are they get constantly tested for it, and because you have deer in captivity and inside of a place where they can't move around a lot, you got a lot of that testing going on. So I don't know. I'm like I said, I think with any other scientific operation or medical test or whatever, you can have a false positive. I mean, there's people that have been told they got X, Y, and Z disease, and then a few months later they go, oops, well maybe not. And so it's.
I've had mad cow disease for about 20 years now.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the same thing. Mad cow is chronic wasting, and mad cow is pretty much the same prion. It's not a virus. It's anyway, but. I'm skeptical.
Folded proteins.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Well, they ain't got none of that in the fish, do they, Paul?
No, sir. I don't think so, but I tell you what. There is something called a largemouth bass virus. But I ain't been hearing around here lately.
I've had that my whole life.
I dated a girl who had that once.
No, that's called.
Never mind, Fred. We'll do that one off the air.
So you doing
I got an answer for that all of a sudden.
You doing any fishing in the cold?
Yes, I actually have. I went I guess it was Wednesday when it was snowing, went out for just a little while, caught one. I just wanted to prove I could do it. It went right back in. It was cold. There was snow all in the boat and ice. And I was wearing them rain boots. I should have not took off my Birkenstock. My feet got so cold and them things that couldn't breathe. But anyway, walked out to the tackle room to tie up some jigs. I want to show y'all. I've got I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but I've got a little jig right there.
I can't see it. I'm in the same room.
I'm trying to show the camera.
That's fine.
But what I do is take a staple, just a regular old staple. And the reason I'm showing this, I took Del Bessie, I think it was Wednesday.
He showed
Monday,
me the
whatever
pictures.
it was. And we caught 35 crappie on.
And they were huge.
One bait on just 2 baits we were using. Never had to change baits.
Really?
Remember when we was doing that with CJ? We had to change.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of learned something since now and then. I take just one staple and take a little bobbin and tie it on, and man, you can put that bait on there and it holds it, and it doesn't pull off when you catch a fish. So you can catch it over and over.
You're just creating like a barb or something out of
bait
staple.
holder.
You're tying it
Just
up
make
with
a
a
little
string.
tiny little bait holder and put a little super glue on it, and just to let people know, if they want to get cheap super glue, you can buy like 10 in a pack over at what's that place?
Dollar General?
No, Harbor Freight.
Harbor Freight, the Chinese tool store.
The Chinese tool
store.
I think this is Chinese super glue, so it takes a little while for it
I
actually.
see what
but
you're
it does
doing
work. See what I'm doing there?
Right there. Yep. Yeah, you build like you putting barbs on.
And when you put the bait on there,
it stays.
And it's been so cold,
it's like a
it
taser,
just stays
like a
on
taser
there.
barb on a taser probe.
That's right.
They're hard to pull out unless you use vice grips and some painkiller. If it goes through your thumb.
Yeah, all the way through your thumb, through the bone in your thumb. Yeah, Charlie tried that once.
Push it on there.
You shot yourself with
And
a
that thing-
taser?
I'm not fishing.
It won't, because them crappie,
Uh-huh.
them things, they got them big old eyes. I think they can come up in dirty water and grab that thing right there, and they'll try to pull it. And now they can't pull it off. And you just keep on reeling, and they'll go ahead and eat it. But been catching some big ones. Water temperature's 49 degrees up on Lake Seminole, 48 out on Talquin.
I saw the pictures.
Big schools are bunched up right now.
And
it's a really good time
I've
for
never
crappie fishing.
seen crappie that big, or perch, or whatever.
Sockeye.
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 But man, I tell you, got got some folks coming in this weekend. We're going to be getting out there, and finally it's warming up a little bit, so the fishing should be exceptional.
Fishing will be good, and it'll be comfortable, a little more comfortable.
A little more comfortable.
I'll tell you what, Thursday, I guess it was Wednesday, Wednesday afternoon, Leon County has odd duck hunting rules for Leon County. You can only hunt on weekends, holidays, and Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm. What?
Can't duck hunt on the public lakes in Leon County on
like
Mondays.
Lake Jackson. You couldn't.
Cannot hunt on Mondays and Tuesdays, Thursdays or Fridays unless it's a holiday. So they were hunting Monday. They can hunt Monday because it was a holiday. They can hunt on Wednesdays. They can hunt on the weekends. It's a long-standing rule that they've had in Leon County for ever and ever, and there's some history to it that I don't know, but it had to do, I think, back in the day when the whole town kind of like shut down on Wednesdays. Anyway, it's been around a long time, and buddy, let me tell you, Wednesday afternoon, hour before dark, they had a young war on Lake Ammonia, and I don't know what they was killing. I don't know if they were ringnecks or wood duck, but that cold front moved some birds down, and they had.
They always move ahead of the front.
Seen a bunch of cans up there on the lake. Bunch of cans.
So I bet they
probably loaded in there on Tuesday, and they were still there. And I'm guessing some of the plantation flooded ponds may have been frozen. Yep. So they had open water out there, and there was a young war on Lake Ammonia.
I didn't think about that.
My kids were in there, and we live on the lake, so we hear shooting from time to time if you're outside. But there was enough of it and close enough of it that the kids were inside. I go, Daddy, what's going on outside? I said, there's somebody killing some ducks right now, or at least shooting at them. I don't know if they're killing them or not, but they're shooting at them.
That's probably what it was, is those plantation ponds froze up. And duck don't go to them.
They will not. The ducks will. Man, I've hunted frozen over place. I've duck hunted in Kansas and Mississippi and stuff. And if you can find when everything is frozen over, if you can find a little pocket of wet water, not hard water, and we went out in Mississippi one year, and when we pulled into camp, it was I want to say that afternoon it was like 14 or 15 degrees. And we literally drove up into camp, and our buddy Jerry out there says, y'all got your guns, and I'll fill out your license. Just leave me your driver's license, and I'll fill out your hunting license, and y'all go with James, and if we're down here and this and that and the other, there's an open. And we literally stepped out in our street clothes into our waders, threw a jacket on, and headed down to a little pothole out in the woods, and everything else was frozen, and this little pothole was kind of sheltered, and there was probably not a 30-foot diameter circle in the middle of this little pond that was wet water, and every duck in Mississippi was trying to come into that thing, and we absolutely just we limited out in a matter of like 5 minutes, and then the fun started. Yeah, because they were out there away from the bank, and the place was deep, and so we went and got an inflatable raft, like a kid's raft. And James was on the back, one of his help, some of his guys that worked around his camp there. James was on the back with a paddle, and I was on the front with an axe in a little kiddie boat, a little two-person kiddie boat. And I'm breaking the ice, and James is trying to paddle and push out there. And then I got out in the middle of this, and this water's probably 20 foot deep out there in the middle. And I got to thinking, me being in this boat with an axe, an inflatable boat, it's probably not a really good idea.
They're going to say you got ate by an alligator.
Anyway, we recovered our birds and got back. I was like, this is not smart. Did you see down in Pinellas County, the news report, a 14-foot gator? They killed a 14-foot gator with a person in its mouth.
What?
Like yesterday.
What?
Yeah. Pinellas County, a 14-foot gator had a part of a body or some legs or something in its mouth.
You find the rest of the body?
I didn't read the whole article, but I saw pictures.
Golly.
There's some legs sticking out of this big old gator's mouth. Anyway, they're still warming up. They're moving.
Up here.
All right. See y'all next week.
All right.
Bye.
Did you see that? That was like